Alrighty, so you clicked on this video because you want to start a residential cleaning business. So I'm going to give you a quick rundown of what you need to get started, kind of what you do every single day as a residential cleaning business owner, and pros and cons. And then I'll show you my results I've had personally over the past 6 months of when I first started this business back in January of 2026. So before we get into anything, I want to ask you, why do you personally want to start a residential cleaning business out of any other business in the world? Why do you want to start a residential cleaning business? If you were to ask me that question when I first started, I would have told you this answer. I tried a bunch of online businesses in the past. Some did okay, some failed. I had no idea what to do next, and then I saw this random video online. Oh, start a remote cleaning business and don't even do the cleans yourself. Just make all this money and take a cut. So I'm like, okay, that's cool, but how can I be different? Because there's plenty of cleaning businesses out there, and especially whatever city you live in, it could be very saturated. Like, for example, where I live in Orlando, there's over 1,200 residential cleaning businesses. So a little bit more saturated than most cities. But anyways, I started because I figured I could be different from other cleaning businesses. So I figured I could offer an organic, all-natural residential cleaning service for homes because I was checking out my market and no one was offering that. Everyone looked the same. Like they clean your home. Here's the price. We can come clean it. That was literally about it. So I was like, how can I stand out? Well, maybe I can offer organic, all-natural cleaning. So that's really the only reason why I started this because, a lot of people nowadays prefer that type of stuff because a lot of people are more health conscious. So that's exactly why I started, and that's why I figured I could scale this to $10,000 a month within the first 3 to 4 months. And I'm already going to spill the beans, but after 6 months, I never got the $10,000. February is kind of when I had the idea. So obviously no sales here. This is when I was getting everything set up. And March, first month, did 2,100 in sales. Second month, 5,400. Awesome. May, did 3,500. Went down from April for some reason. June, not too bad, 4,000. July, absolutely phenomenal month, 6,500. I actually did around 8,000. Some of this wasn't in the system, so July was a killer month, super dope. I was like, hell yeah, next month we're definitely going to hit 10,000. And August is $2,300. So got absolutely shit on. Not too sure why. I've been doing everything the same, I've been doing everything the exact same the past several months since starting. So yeah, I don't know, just shitty month overall. And here's my ad spend. For some reason, this isn't all of it, but as you can see here, I don't know why it's getting blurry, but yeah, $5,300 is what I've spent on ads. It's a little bit closer to around $6,000. So yeah, around $6,000 spent on ads since I started this business. Getting started, you need a good mentorship that's not going to scam you. I personally went with HSA, Home Service Academy. They've been very good. Number 2, you need an LLC. A lot of people tell you that you don't need an LLC starting out. Just start doing the business, worry about the LLC later. Well, you can't do that in this business because the third thing you need is business insurance, and you can't get business insurance unless you have an LLC. So now that you got the business insurance, now you need a Google business profile just so you can get verified and look legitimate on Google. 5, you need to go on Facebook, join cleaning groups in your area, post an ad saying, well, not an ad, just post something in the group saying, hey, I'm looking for cleaners who can take on more jobs. If you already have 1+ years of experience or you already operate your own cleaning business, please message me. And you will get dozens of text messages from very small cleaning companies who are looking to take on more work. And those are the perfect types of ladies to contract out work to because they got experience, they're hungry, and they know what they're doing. 6, you need a booking software. A lot of people use Booking Koala, but I personally use Allison. It's kind of a new one. Very easy to use. I like it a lot. 7, you need a good CRM software. I use Go High Level. Go High Level, very good. I like it. And then number 8, you need to set up meta ads and have at least $900 a month worth of ad spend, which is roughly $30 a day, because starting out, a lot of people tell you, just reach out to friends and family, post in Facebook groups, hey, I can clean your home, here's a discounted price. I did that my whole first month, didn't get jack shit. If you want to actually start getting sales as fast as possible, you need to set up meta ads and start running ad campaigns. that's like a whole different subject. You can just watch some YouTube videos and figure it out. All right, so now that you have everything you need to get started, what do you do every single day as a remote cleaning business owner? It's basically like a 9 to 5. You wake up, you see if you have any new leads, you respond to the new leads, you check your old leads, you follow up with the old leads, you check your schedule, make sure all your cleaners are good to go for your cleans you already have booked. And yeah, you're literally just responding to leads all day, checking the schedule, booking in new cleans, making sure your cleaners are good. That's literally about it. So yeah, like I said, every single day I wake up around 9 or 10. I usually get a lot of lead inquiries either very late at night or early in the morning. So usually when I wake up, I always have new leads to respond to. So I'll give them a call. If they don't answer, I'll leave a voicemail. I send a text. I wait a couple or several hours. I try calling them again. They don't answer. I leave a voicemail. I send a text. And I just basically repeat this process every single day for several days. And if I don't get absolutely like any response or they don't book a clean, then I just throw them in a pipeline on in my CRM software, and it'll just automatically send a text or email to them, like every couple of days, every week, every month, and just kind of long-term nurture them. So yeah, besides responding to leads all day and scheduling cleans, which is all you do, the only other thing you can really do as a residential cleaning business owner is just make sure your meta ads are running good. Maybe set up some new ad campaigns. Make sure your cost per lead is $15 or under. It's usually a good range to be at. And that's really about it. Maybe you can work on your sales, change your sales script a little bit. I've done that a lot. I've tried different sales tactics. So yeah, there's really not much to it. You just got to make sure your meta ads are running smoothly and you're actually getting leads in the door. And then you, as a residential cleaning business owner, have to make sure that your speed to lead is good. You're always on top of responding to new leads, old leads. If people got to reschedule, if people cancel, if there's problems, like you always got to be on your phone, like messaging people and following up. Like communication is that's what makes this business flourish, is communication and speed to lead. Because if someone calls you, you don't answer, they're just going to call another cleaning business a couple minutes later, and if they answer the phone, they're most likely just going to book with them. So speed to lead is very important. All right, now that we talked about everything you need to get started, kind of what you do every single day as a residential cleaning business owner, now let's talk about the pros and cons of this business. And the cons are my favorite part. So pro number 1 is you don't have to clean any of the homes yourself. You contract out all the work. You don't have to do any physical labor. You can just be on your phone all day or your computer all day, just responding to emails, texts, follow-ups, leads, all that. So you don't have to clean anything yourself. No physical labor. Pro number 2 is you can run this business from anywhere in the world, Just like I said, your phone, your computer. You can be in China, and your cleaners could be cleaning homes in Florida. It doesn't matter. Part number 3 is you can build relationships with people. I mean, there's a couple of people I kind of talk to personally where, I've cleaned their home, and we've talked about business. We've talked about that, our personal lives. So, yeah, you can build relationships and potentially network depending on whose home you clean. I mean, you could go clean a $5 million mansion, and that person could be a super rich, cool guy. And, maybe he invites you out on the boat. Maybe he tells you how you can scale your business easier. I haven't found anyone like that yet, but, there's a potential to network in this business if you clean high net worth individuals' homes. Pro number 4, and this is the biggest one, is you have no inventory, no warehouse, no physical location, no employees. There's no physical aspect of this business. Like I said for the 3rd time, it's just all on your computer, all on your phone. There's nothing like physical involved, and that's the biggest thing. Like having inventory and having to deal with this, deal with that. I don't like any of that. I like everything to just be on my computer, on my phone. There's nothing really physical about this business. And pro number 5, the last thing I can really think of is you can make some extra money. I mean, I've made a couple $1,000 a month extra just running this business on top of my other job. So, I'm making around $5,000 a month from my normal job. And I'm making anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000 profit from, this. So, I'm making $7,000 a month. That's pretty cool. So, this side hustle could turn into your full-time income depending on, how well you do. Some people do good than others. It just all depends. So that's basically my last pro is you can make some extra money with this business. Now let's talk about the cons. So kind of what I was just referring to if you do have a 9 to 5, honestly, starting this business could be pretty tough because, like I talked about earlier too, like your communication needs to be fast. Like you need to be on top of it. You need to be answering phone calls if they come in. You need to be texting back as fast as you can. You need to be dealing with problems as fast as you can. So if you have a 9 to 5 and you got a bunch of people calling you, texting you, but you're busy because you have a job, you're kind of screwed. Like I don't know how you could run this business if you have a 9 to 5, unless you work from home, maybe. But if you're like out and about all day with your 9 to 5, or you have to be on your computer, or you're in meetings, this and that, I really don't see this business working out for you unless you hire a virtual assistant from the Philippines starting out so they can literally be on top of everything for you and you don't have to worry about a single thing basically. But that's like $1,000 a month. So if you're willing to spend $1,000 a month for meta ads and $1,000 a month to have a virtual assistant just starting out, then I mean, sure, but that's definitely a con for this business. Is I don't know how a person with a 9 to 5 would be able to start this and run it properly and actually scale it fast. Con number 2, this one's my favorite, is price obligations. This is basically the biggest bottleneck with this business model because, let me put this into a simple perspective without yapping. I'm not trying to sound racist or anything, but like your competition is the Spanish ladies who are cleaning for a very, very low price. So they could go clean a 2,000 square foot home for $100. But for us as a business to go clean a 2,000 square foot home, we'd have to charge $200, maybe $250. So they're charging literally half, if not less than half the price. So if someone calls you and you tell them your price is, $200 or $250, you're like, oh no, I talked to this other lady. They said they cleaned my home for $100. I'm so sorry. Thanks, bye. And I usually just hang up on you because, everyone's just price shopping. So price shopping and price obligations are the biggest bottleneck with this business because, like I said, there's Spanish ladies doing very cheap cleans because they have no margins. They're not running ads. But since we have margins and we're running ads and, the cleaners are taking a cut, we have to charge more or we just won't make any money. So people usually, a majority of the time, it doesn't matter how much you sell them on the vacation of like how well you can clean their home, how you're licensed, insured, how you're the best. Like I said, I use all natural products. I always, tell them that. Like, majority of the time, people just don't give a shit. They just want the cheapest price possible. So, price obligations and price shopping is the biggest bottleneck in this business by far from the hundreds of phone calls I've done the past 6 months. Con number 3 is, of course, Karens. You're going to get so many Karens. It's just a part of the game, and it's just the most annoying thing because, you'll have a $300 clean. Your cleaner will go out there. They'll spend 5 hours cleaning their home. Next thing you know, an hour later, the Karen calls you, hey, I am so disappointed. They missed this, they missed that, and then they send you pictures of... Sometimes, yes, my cleaners will miss a bunch of areas that should have been cleaned, for sure. Like, I'll be on their side sometimes, but like there's other times where they just send me the most ridiculous photos of like a little bit of dust here, a little bit of dust there, maybe a piece of hair in the bathtub or the sink, just like the stupidest shit. And then they won't even pay me the $300 for the clean. So then like, there's nothing I can do there. Even if I have a card on file and I tell them, hey, I still have to charge you for the clean, they're just going to dispute it and they're going to win anyways. Like the customer always wins the card disputes. It sucks. So it's inevitable. It's going to happen. You're going to get Karens tell you the stupidest shit ever. Sometimes they're right. Sometimes they're right. Like the cleaners will fuck up. But majority of the time, they're just complaining about the most stupidest shit ever and they have no common sense. And you either, one, have to offer them 50% off just to compensate for your cleaner, or they just don't pay you anything. You're shit out of luck. You still have to pay your cleaner for their time, and you just lose money. So it's going to happen. I got plenty of stories I could tell you, but it's going to happen. That's another big con is dealing with Karens. Another con is margins because, honestly, so let's put this into a simple perspective. The margins are around 30%. So you have to do $30,000 in sales a month just for you to potentially make $10,000 profit a month, which is, it's doable, but those margins, then again, it sounds like a cope because most big businesses, yeah, like their margins aren't that great. They're usually always under 50%. But with this business model, if you're not doing a shit ton in sales, you're really not making any money. So like even if you're doing $10,000 in sales a month, you're making like $2,000 to $3,000, which is cool, but it's not like quit your job money. So until you're making $30,000 worth of sales and $10,000 profit, don't even think about quitting your job. Another con is scheduling. Scheduling can be one of the biggest headaches because you can have like 5 cleaners, and for whatever reason, like the customer wants to clean on Monday at 9 a.m. 3 of your cleaners can't do it. Your other 2 are booked, and you're like, what the hell? Like I have 5 cleaners, and not one of them can do a cleaning on Monday. Then you got to ask the customer if they can do a different day, and they're like, oh no, none of those days work. And then it's just a pain in the ass trying to figure out like a good day and time that works for the customer and for your cleaners. And then you'll have times where people want to cancel and reschedule, and your cleaner was like expecting to do a clean the next day, and then now they got a cancellation, and they want to reschedule, and then they want to reschedule for, let's say, next week this day. Well, then your cleaner can't even do it next week that day. Scheduling can just be a pain in the ass, and I couldn't imagine doing 100 homes a month and how many rescheduling and cancellations and shit I would have to deal with, because yeah, that would be pretty crazy. So yeah, scheduling can be a huge headache. And the last con is, I don't know if I'd call this a con, but it kind of is this is a low ticket business. So you're cleaning people's homes, so your average ticket price $200, maybe $300, around that range. Honestly, mine's around like 200. So you're only making around $100 profit per job, if even that, depending on the size of the home and stuff like that. But if you want to do any type of real big boy numbers, you need to be doing at least 2 to 3 homes a day, and getting to that level is very hard unless you start stacking recurring clients, which that's actually another con I'll mention right now. Is yeah, getting recurring clients is very tough. If you do a good job, sure, people will come back a month or 2 later, but like on paper, actually having recurring clients is very tough because like people won't commit to like every 30 days or bi-weekly, or unless they're just very clean conscious and always want a clean home, which is not a majority of people. But on paper, yes, getting recurring clients is very tough, but that's how you really scale this business, is those recurring clients. Otherwise, you're always dependent on spending money on Meta just to get new leads, to get more sales. But of course, if you do a good job, you will get recurring clients, coming back to you every month or two. So, yeah. So now the question, should you start a residential cleaning business? If you're willing to eat shit and spend thousands of dollars on Meta ads just in hopes to hopefully get some sales and stack recurring clients, then go for it. Me personally, I showed you my results the past 6 months. I genuinely tried. I tested many campaigns on Meta ads. I even paid a Meta ad guy to run my ads for me the first 2 months starting out, just so I could scale as fast as possible. My speed to lead is good. My booking was good. My communication's good. I set up everything properly the first month just to make sure when I first started this, like I had everything dialed in. Of course, it's been a learning experience, and everything's not always perfect, but based off this business model and maybe the market I'm in, the city I'm in, maybe I should try to expand elsewhere. I don't know. So I had very high expectations. I figured because I was different with the organic, all natural products and the amount of money I spent on ads, that I would be able to scale this to 10K a month within the first year. But unfortunately, that's not the case. Sometimes starting out a business, you gotta be a little bit cocky, a little bit delusional, have a little bit of ego just to actually make this shit work and genuinely try. But it just sounds like I'm coping and I'm complaining. But I don't know, after, like I said, genuinely trying the past 6 months and not even getting the 10K worth of sales, just kind of hurts my ego a little bit. So I think there's better business models out there with not much stress or overhead, or Because, like residential cleaning so low ticket. You have to do 50 homes a month just to do maybe 10K worth of sales and, a couple $1,000 profit. So there's definitely probably some higher ticket, better businesses out there without much overhead. All this scheduling, all this lead, all this marketing bullshit. So at the end of the day, if you clean the homes yourself, honestly, you could do pretty damn good. I mean, you saw what I did in sales each month. If you were the one doing those cleans, I mean, shit, you would have had a $8,000 month that one month, or $5,000 or $6,000. But it fluctuates a little bit. So yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna still stick with it a little bit for the rest of the year. Try to stack recurring clients. Maybe I'll have a killer month because every month fluctuates, like I said. But yeah, if you start a residential cleaning business, be prepared to at least try. I'd say for a full year. I'm only 6 months in, and I'm having my doubts now. But you always got to think about everything long term, because success obviously isn't overnight. So it just kind of sounds like I'm coping, but I'm willing to give this a couple or several more months, and if I just can't get over that 10K a month ceiling, even just in sales, then I got bigger problems going on. So hope this video was somewhat insightful. If you're a young guy like me, and you wanted to get into this, I'd say there's definitely probably better avenues that you could try, to be honest. So anything online's cool. I tried selling AI. That shit didn't really work. Yeah, there's many different avenues you can go down. So unless you're like really passionate about cleaning, or you find a city that's not saturated but has a good amount of homes, and you run all those statistics before you even start trying to sell residential cleaning in that city, then yeah. Good luck to you all and have a good one.